Ladies and gentlemen, we have huge news today. What a week, and what a way to start the week. So the US and China agreed on a 90-day pause on tariffs going from 145% to only 30%, and that's for 90 days, aka for the next 3 months. So what does that mean? Well, it means we're about to scale like crazy over the next few months. And I want to highlight just a few different things here. Some of the brands that we're advising, some of the brands that we're launching. I mean, we're all going to benefit from this. I'm super excited to just dive deeper into this. So without further ado, let's do it. So as you see here, US and China agreed to lower most tariffs for 90 days amid trade talks. Now, does this mean this is all over? Does this mean that, tariffs are going away? Definitely not. In fact, this just means we're going from a higher tariff to a lower tariff for a 90-day period. But guess what? That's absolutely massive. 145% tariffs is crazy. That's literally over double your usual cost of goods. But with 30%, that's really easy to stomach. I mean, especially if you've been dealing with tariffs that are much higher than that, you can simply add a shipping cost to your checkout and be able to deal with that if you're an e-commerce entrepreneur. So I'm very excited about this, and I hope that you are too. And I hope that now you stop using this as an excuse to not start your e-commerce business, because you totally should start your e-commerce business as soon as humanly possible. And in fact, I think there's never been a better time to start an e-commerce business, because now you're going to have all these people that were so hurt by this. You're not going to be able to sustain continuing growth. And in our Discord, in the Shopify Lab Discord, you'll see we are super, super hyped. We got people absolutely crushing the game right now. And I would love for you to join this. I would love for you to apply to our software and accelerator. That's what this all is. Because I'm investing in some of the brands in here. This just got me so hyped up that now I'm much more open to investing in your business, especially if you have something that I think is really cool and that I think I could contribute a lot of value to. So make sure that you join the Shopify Lab Accelerator. I definitely think it's an amazing place for you to be if you're serious about Shopify. But let's actually just continue reading here. I want to educate you and inform you as much as humanly possible. So China and the US have agreed to lower tariffs on goods for 90 days. Now, here's another interesting thing. So the US tariffs on China goods are reducing from 145% to 30%, but from American goods to China, the tariffs are going from 125% to 10%. So it seems like the US got a better end of the deal here, which is pretty cool. I mean, that's pretty awesome to see. I'm definitely happy to see that as an American. We don't really know what that entails completely, right? But what they say here, this is the consensus from both delegations this weekend, is that neither side wants a decoupling. And what had occurred with these very high tariffs was the equivalent of a trade embargo, and neither side wants that. We do want trade. We want more balanced trade, and I think both sides are committed to achieving that, Besant said, adding that the Trump administration would push for China to open up more U.S. goods. China's trade surplus with the United States topped $100 billion last year. So that's pretty crazy. And now, you're kind of starting to understand why this happened in the first place, right? There was a huge surplus in favor of China, which is not necessarily unfair. It is unfair, I guess, in some ways, but like it kind of happened naturally because China just has so much means of production. But I think this is kind of a good place to be now, where we can, just come to the table and be like, look, this happened. You guys got very wealthy off of this trade surplus, but now let's figure out something to be more balanced. At least that's my take, from a macroeconomic perspective. What do I know? I'm just a guy on YouTube, right? I'm literally just yapping about this stuff. But it does affect me, of course. I own a variety of e-commerce businesses, softwares related to e-commerce as well, which I'm super excited to share more about. We've been onboarding, for example, for Smart Reply, we've onboarded a couple 9-figure e-com stores. So it's just been crazy to see just how these brands operate. And yeah, I feel like I'm just leveling up every single year, which is cool. And I love that you guys are here with me to see it. And through all these chaos, all these crazy situations that we've encountered, I mean, we're just getting stronger and stronger. The e-commerce market is just continuing to grow. This is a multi-trillion-dollar market, and it's only going to continue to go up more and more. Especially, I talk to a lot of people like in the accelerator, for example, but not just in the accelerator, just people that DM me. I'm always open to calling people, especially store owners that are already seeing good success and just want my help either from my team to scale or whatever it is, if they just need a consultation, I'm always happy to chat and connect with people that are doing some numbers. And I've been talking to a lot of international people that are actually crushing it. So that also just leads me to think, and even from countries that are quite small, you probably know who you are if you're watching this. So what that leads me to think is that, there's a huge global boom happening in the e-commerce landscape. And it's not just in the US. Of course, the US is the biggest market, but this is something much bigger than just the US. And I'm very excited to see that happen. I'm a huge fan of this global economy that is unfolding. Of course, I'm a US citizen, so I'm very much in favor of the US, being the leader in growth and in the economy of the world. However, I'm also from Chile. That's where I'm originally from. And I love to see more brands, for example, in Chile just crushing it, in Argentina and South America. I love seeing these emerging markets growing. And I think it's kind of interesting that that's happening, especially at the same time that crypto is also booming, right? Crypto is also going crazy, which decentralizes money in a way, right? So that's pretty cool. That also creates a more global economy. So it seems like everything is trending towards, all of us becoming closer and closer around the world, which is a beautiful thing to see. It's super exciting, very optimistic. Especially with AI. And I don't want to lead you in the wrong way. I don't think you should be optimistic just for the sake of it. I think there's like, I read Peter Thiel said something like this, which I thought was really, really interesting. He said basically that optimism and pessimism at the extremes are basically just laziness. Because the pessimist, he's just like, oh, well, we're doomed, right? There's nothing we can do. And the optimist is just like, well, everything's going to be fine. We don't really need to do anything. And I actually, that hit me kind of deep. I'm not going to lie, because I'm a big optimist. Like I'm always thinking on the bright side of things. But I do think that can actually be harmful sometimes. If you're just like delusionally optimistic to the point where you don't even act on anything, that's laziness, right? And I can be lazy. That's totally fine. But I do think it's important to act, right? So from this, what can we derive? Well, first of all, in the next 3 months, it is time to run it up. Like, take action, launch a product today, launch your business today, start a Shopify store like right now. I'm serious. And if you want, guidance, help, one-on-one support and software tools, then, obviously join the Shopify Lab Accelerator. This is like the coolest thing in the ecom space right now. I'm not even kidding. Obviously it's my product, but I'm biased, but at the same time, this thing is just so cool. And you can see so many incredible things through here so that you can really explode your business. But anyways, I'm just really excited about this. You can probably see it in how I'm speaking. And, I'm just very excited that you guys are following along. And I really hope that you are taking advantage of the situation. I really hope that you're able to totally crush it with your business in the next 3 months. And even beyond that, whether you're from the US, whether you're from the UK, whether you're from South America, India, wherever you're from, I think things are just going to continue to get better if we act on it, right? And if we capitalize on the opportunity. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you got some good information from it. I'll continue to keep you updated on all these tariff updates. It's not over yet, right? This doesn't mean we're in the clear. In fact, it's still not a great situation. We're still getting, tariffed if you think about it. But with how it was before, this just feels so much better. I feel so much lighter, and you can see it in the markets, right? Like things are booming. Shopify stock, let me show you what's going on here. Like this thing is absolutely going crazy over the last month. 21% gain on the Shopify stock. I'm a shareholder myself, of course, because I'm a huge Shopify guy. So I've been holding some Shopify stock for a while, and it's been doing quite well, which is great to see. And I hope that this continues more and more, right? Shopify is a $130 billion company. I believe Shopify will one day be a $1 trillion company. Hopefully a clipper out there can save this clip. And once Shopify is a $1 trillion company, you can show this and say, I was right. Ari was right. But yeah, I don't know. Who knows, right? But I do believe so, especially as the e-commerce market continues to grow. And this is what I've been alluding to, right? Like I'm so excited to be in this market because I see so much growth potential. There's more things that we could talk about, but I've already yapped enough. If you want to hear me yapping more, then join our streams. I'll be streaming a lot more. And follow me on social media, on X, on Instagram. I post everywhere. And that's about it. Peace.